CTV News with Mitsumi Takahashi.
Good evening. Just over a year ago, two seniors were hit by a car in the Place Vertu parking lot. One of them was killed, the other one seriously injured. Well, now, after a lot of surgeries and months of rehab, the 98-year-old survivor is telling her story. Here's Matt Gilmore.
I feel better, but I still have nightmares at night.
It's been a long and painful year for 98-year-old Maria Luisa Betson. Last April, she and her friend, 89-year-old George Spinakis, were hit by a Jeep reversing into a parking spot at the Place Vertu shopping center.
I had a terrible noise, terrible, and I saw a car must be going very fast because it was up, very high up, and my leg, terrible pain.
Luisa was knocked to the ground, pushed out of the way by Spinakis, who took the brunt of the impact and was pinned between his own vehicle and the Jeep. According to a coroner's report, the driver, an 80-year-old man, lost control of his vehicle when his foot got stuck between the gas pedal and the brake, pressing down on the accelerator. The impact pushed Spinakis' car and another parked vehicle 6 full meters. Spinakis died in hospital 2 days later.
I miss him, because, we have each other, we talk a lot of things.
We should all be so lucky to be loved by a man like my father.
In the years since, Spinakis' daughter, Maria, has become close with Luisa, helping with her long recovery. The impact broke 2 bones in her leg, her pelvis, hip, 6 ribs, and her shoulder. Her son, a physician in California, says at her age, it's a miracle she's alive.
The fact that she had to be total bed rest for 8 weeks, that's like a death sentence almost.
Both families still have many unanswered questions. The coroner ruled Spinakis' death accidental, and police are not obligated to share any information with victims or their families.
Why is there no accountability, transparency, responsibility? I lost my dad. Luisa has financial responsibilities as a result of this, and the gentleman who perpetrated this accident, he's walking away, I'm sure.
Because of Quebec's no-fault insurance system, road accident victims are not allowed to sue for damages. Instead, everybody is automatically compensated by the SAAQ.
Everybody gets money, but everybody gets small money.
Marc Bellemare is a lawyer and former Quebec Justice Minister from 2003 to 2004. He's not involved in this case, but has been fighting against the no-fault insurance system for most of his career.
Victims should be allowed to sue to get a better compensation, or more than that, the right to sue is the right to know. It's the most important thing for the victims and their family.
Quebec is the only jurisdiction in Canada where road accident victims do not have the right to sue.
We are left carrying a disproportionate amount of burden in this incident, and it's just, how can we have no fault insurance in Quebec?
Luisa says she doesn't expect to ever fully recover from the accident.
It changed my life, I still have to have the walker. I still very difficult to go out.
A tragic accident that's left scars, both physical and emotional, and a system that's getting in the way of finding closure. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Santé Quebec's digital health records platform launches early tomorrow morning. It begins in 2 regions of Quebec, and there are growing concerns about whether it's ready. Some doctors say it's already affecting the number of patients they can see. Here's Denise Roberts.
As of 4 a.m. Saturday, Quebec's digital health platform will go live in 2 regional health authorities, Morrissey and the north end of Montreal. The transition will affect 22,000 employees, including orthopedic surgeon Dominique Rouleau.
Usually I'm seeing between 30 and 40 patients a day in clinic, and I have 10 on Monday.
She says that's because all hands are on deck to prepare to go digital. Non-urgent services have been reduced and will continue to be in the coming weeks.
Me personally, I'm on call all week in trauma at Sacré-Cœur, and I heard that they will transfer the ambulance in other hospitals, but all the hospitals are full, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Premier Christine Fréchette says while there will be some problems to work out, Quebec is ready.
We've been preparing this change for 2 years and a half, and therefore everything that has to be done has been done.
The rollout will cost at least $400 million, and more than 1,000 people are involved to make sure it goes smoothly. While there has been criticism of EPIC, the American system being used to implement the transformation, Fréchette says people should not be worried.
There are already 315 million people using that technology that we are going to put in place in the next few hours, and it's going to help for the efficiency of the system.
Dr. Rouleau says they've already encountered bugs during trials.
And hopefully quickly we will be able to improve the number of patients we can operate every day. People are working very hard for months for that.
And a lot is riding on its success, since it will eventually be expanded across Quebec's entire healthcare system. Denise Roberts, CTV News.
And Quebec is planning to bring in more home care services. It's announced 1 million more hours for home care workers in the province. The aim is to help older and disabled Quebecers stay in their homes. The extra hours could mean hundreds of additional workers offering services 7 days a week.
It will help seniors and people losing their independence and people with disabilities to stay at home longer with dignity. So I think that everyone here wants to stay longer at home, and we all share this wish, and we're making it more possible with the announcement today of 1 million additional hours for home support.
The coroner's office has identified the body that was found on the shores of Rivière des Prairies yesterday, and it is that of Hassoun Choui. The 18-year-old Cégep student fell through the ice with his friend in March. His friend was rescued, but Choui was swept away by the current. His body was found yesterday, washed up behind a home on Guam Boulevard, not far from where he was last seen. Quebec's political and business leaders are promoting Montreal as a logical case. They made their final pitch today for NATO's Defense, Security and Resilience Bank. Stéphane Giroux has more.
4 Canadian cities are competing to host the headquarters of the Defense Bank.
It shouldn't be up for debate. We have strength in finances, in diplomacy, in defense. These should be the 3 criteria, the 3 decisive criteria to determine where this bank should land.
Montreal is up against Vancouver, Toronto, and Ottawa to host the Defense, Security and Resilience Bank. It will provide the financing for NATO's defense projects. The Quebec government says Montreal checks all the boxes.
We have over 68 international organizations that are already present on a territory, which speaks to the strengths of our capacity to receive international organizations, but also an ecosystem that is just really dynamic. Universities, businesses, especially defense sector industries.
Vancouver pits its advantageous position between Europe and Asia. The Greater Ottawa region argues for its neutrality within Canada, and Toronto says that its business community makes it a better choice, though it also argued Montreal was vulnerable because of a possible sovereignty referendum under a future PQ government.
But referendums are not new in Quebec. This is something that we've been having in Quebec, discussions we've been having for over 50 years, and that never stopped international organizations from being here. So I don't think it's a good argument.
The stakes are high. The bank would create several thousand high-paying jobs and act as a pole of attraction for other business and diplomatic partners.
I think the one, I would summarize that in one sentence. The only thing that this bank needs right now is have the economics and the diplomacy. So we're the only city that can give both. The economic diplomacy that this bank needs, and that's why I think the strength of the candidacy for Montreal is the best one.
The Prime Minister of Canada is expected to make the final choice soon, one that will likely create political resentment in the provinces excluded. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
There's a major road work planned for the Décarie Expressway this weekend. All southbound lanes from the Met, Marcel Lorrain and Highway 40 East will be closed to the Jean Talon entrance. That starts at 10 tonight. The overpass on De La Savane will be closed all weekend. The other overpasses will be closed overnights only, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
The work is being done on the La Savane overpass. We have to replace a beam that was hit in 2025 by a truck. And so it's some repair work that needs to be done and to support the structure while we do this work.
Montreal has a new animal shelter. It's going to help take care of strays and abandoned pets alongside the SPCA. Here's Matt Grillo, sorry.
The shelter has been up and running since the beginning of the year. Dogs, cats, and rabbits are already being looked after. The City of Montreal inaugurated its new facility on Friday. Montreal now has a one-stop shop for all boroughs.
We had 19 boroughs, 19 different companies, Berger Blanc and all these things. We've heard all the horror stories. And we've came to work something out. SPCA unfortunately can't take everything. It's a question of feasibility. Right now we have a partner so that we're making sure that there's no gap in Montreal.
The center will be run by Pro Anima and can take care of about 200 animals daily. Among the services provided, the staff will take care of stray and abandoned animals while also making sure pets are adopted. Montreal residents are encouraged to use the Pro Anima shelter located on P9 Boulevard in the city's East End, but people can continue to rely on the SPCA.
If it's easier for them and they're closer to the SPCA, that's why we work together. They're still a great partner. We've been collaborating together, our two organizations, for years and years.
The SPCA will continue its operations, but with a focus on other services.
Animal defense and protection, and we're going to continue working with all of our community program.
Staff here will also be prepared for July 1st moving day, a time of year when pets are abandoned in large numbers.
For this year, yes, we'll be preparing before the 1st of July, preparing reducing the populations, make sure that there is place to react when it will come. And then with the future years, we will adapt from the reality that we receive this year.
The total cost of the project is more than $150 million. $25 million was spent on acquiring the building and renovating the space, a facility that will welcome about 7,000 pets every year, with animal welfare as its top priority. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
A popular coffee shop in Verdun is closing, and it's because of the rent. The owner of the cafe is calling for changes to commercial leases. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil reports.
Station W grew alongside Wellington Street's rise, but after 13 years, its owner is preparing to say goodbye to the space he helped build.
We work all together to make this streets be as great as it is. And then now we're just the victim of that success.
Simon Defoy says he spent months trying to fight a 60% rent hike, but in the end, his landlord signed a lease with someone else. Now, Defoy is urging Quebec to regulate commercial leases before more independent businesses are pushed out.
Something that's going to bring a bit more stability, a bit more predictability.
Born and raised in Verdun, Patrick Mainville runs the local business development group. He's watched the pressure build on local businesses and says protecting local commerce takes cooperation from landlords, business owners, the city, and the community itself.
It's more than a cafe. When you start a business on a commercial street like that, it has an effect on the community and on the DNA of the street.
The issue has already made its way to Quebec City. In 2023, Québec Solidaire proposed a standard commercial lease to help limit abusive clauses. Verdun MNA Alejandra Zaga Mendez has been pushing for that change.
We need regulations to support our small business because otherwise they're going to be leaving the streets such as Wellington, and they're at the heart of the economic development.
For regulars here, Station W has been part of daily life for years.
I finished my dissertation here. I did all of my pregnancy cravings here.
10 people could sit around the table. I used to read my newspaper, and it was quite nice meeting people, talking to people.
For Defoy, it's the connection to the community that defines its time here.
When you are a small business owner, a corner store owner, like you're part of the life of people and they're part of your life.
And while the cafe's current chapter is coming to an end, Defoy says Station W isn't completely disappearing from Verdun. He says to keep an eye out this summer for a pop-up concept. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
There's a new app that helps people who are having trouble saving money. It was developed by a Concordia student, and it takes its inspiration from gaming apps. Here's Christine Long.
Whether it's for security.
A finance and computer science grad, Benjamin Thomas is also a self-proclaimed savings nerd.
I loved learning about investing, saving money, credit cards.
Together with McGill students Luke Frund and Ari Mendikov, he founded Lodavo, a savings app to help change the way this generation thinks about money.
A lot of people were turning to things like gambling, risky investments, crypto, and unfortunately some of them losing money through those. I wanted to build an app where we can motivate people and steer them in the right direction towards building better savings habits.
Lodavo is simple. Combine the goal of saving money with the chance to win prizes.
And so we were able to integrate that technology into our app to allow users to securely connect their existing bank accounts. They can then track their savings progress every week through our app without ever moving their money.
The more the user saves, the more tickets they earn, and those tickets pay out weekly cash prizes that come from partnerships, collaborations, promotional campaigns, and even the founder's personal funds.
Think of it like a game. It's an app where instead of wasting your time scrolling, our generation calls it brain rot. You can spend your time on this app and hopefully learn some more. We have daily savings tips, for example.
Lodavo launched a few days ago and already has 100 users.
We also had a wait list of about 1,000 people who signed up across Canada.
The app is free on the App Store, and its founders are planning to expand.
Bring this to as many Canadians as possible, and we have really exciting plans in the future. We'd love to partner with a financial institution, offer other sort of products, and really expand what we're offering.
So more people can get excited about their possible savings. Christine Long, CTV News.
The Canadians are back in action tonight, Game 2 in their playoff series against Buffalo. Kelly, again, fans cheering on the screen, on very loud TV screens.
That's right, Mitsumi. I mean, I think we found the biggest one in this city. We'll see the players be about 15 feet high tonight on this two-story screen here at Espace 1909 in the Bell Center, where fans are ready. Now, after that 4-2 loss in Buffalo, Game 1, many are looking at the production of the top line and some of the struggles there. After leading the NHL in 5-on-5 goals in the regular season, Cole Caulfield has yet to get one in the playoffs. In Game 1 was the 7th time out of 8 playoff games that he recorded 2 or fewer shots on goal. Also, Caulfield now has gone 4 straight games with no goal. The last time that happened was in mid-January. There's so much focus on the 25-year-old, and on top of that, the regular pressure of wearing a Canadian jersey. His teammates, though, have been supporting him throughout.
He's always been there, always scored big goals for us. Obviously right now, maybe not where he wants it to be, but I don't think anyone's worried. I think all it takes is one, and floodgates will open for him. So
he always answers. Again, another guy that loves the game, is a big competitor, and no one needs to be hard on him because he's already hard on himself, and he wants to win so badly. And he had a lot of pressure to score that 50th, and he did it. So again, another guy I'm really excited to watch tonight.
Now, if you're the type of fan who's glued to the TV during the periods but then gets up during the intermissions, check this out. This was put out by the City of Laval. It shows their water usage. You can see it spiking there during intermissions as people get up to take their bathroom breaks. It's also not the time to take a shower if you were planning on doing that. So, Game 2 goes tonight, 7 o'clock puck drop. I will say Game 3 is on Sunday here back at home. It is Mother's Day, just a reminder. I have to say, I spoke with my parents a little earlier trying to make plans. My mom said, don't worry about coming out. We'll do that after the Habs win the Stanley Cup. So I'll be there on Sunday. Sorry, Mom, but the Habs come first.
Mary is always ever understanding, Kelly. Always.
I hope so.
Okay. And I've never seen a graphic of flushing before. That was very interesting. So thank you.
Nothing if not creative, Mitsumi. It's Habs playoff season.
Okay, thanks, Kelly. And that's Kelly Gregg at Tavern 1909. Montreal sports bars are packed on game night. Many are even having to turn people away. Well, not so for the restaurants that don't have TVs. Here's Olivia O'Malley.
Tuck Shop is getting ready for puck drop. The St. Henry restaurant is setting up 3 TVs on its back terrace for the Canadiens' second game against the Sabres.
Now we're past that first round, and it's like we got to do something, especially for a Friday night. Otherwise, I don't want to cut staff.
Jonathan Metcalf is a lifelong fan, but also a business owner. He says excitement surrounding the playoff run has led to a less full dining room when the Habs play.
It's a whole other team that we're seeing now. So we're really seeing a drop in covers on, definitely on weekends and even on earlier in the week.
Other small restaurants without TVs say it's hurting their bottom line. At Parapluie, 50% of reservations were canceled on game nights during the first round.
It's crazy, the hockey vibe of the city, but for a small restaurant like us, it's a bit hard.
The restaurant, just recognized by Michelin, sits 32 people. Chef owner Robin Filteau-Boucher says he cooks all day for diners, but some aren't even paying attention. Instead, he says they're watching the Canadiens on their phones.
It's very hard work, but it's good work. And like you bring the plates and they don't even look at the plates, they look at the game.
So to keep up with demand, Filteau-Boucher bought a TV for his no reservation restaurant next door on Beaubien Street.
Parapluie, we have so much cancellation. If I didn't put a TV here, I think we're going to be empty every day of the match.
It's not a sports bar, and the menu is nothing like it. La Cave du Parapluie offers fresh Quebec seafood and fine wine. But Filteau-Boucher says all 22 seats are filling up during games.
You eat good food, you drink good wine and cheap beers at $5, so it works for us.
It's also working for Tuck Shop. Their terrace is sold out for Game 2, and their DMs are already flooding for future games. And what Metcalf the fan hopes is a long playoff run.
Ça sent la coupe.
Olivia O'Malley, CTV News.
The Montreal Children's Hospital Foundation is celebrating a major milestone tonight. It is what it calls the most successful fundraising campaign ever led by a hospital foundation in Quebec. Sweda is at the gala, and Sweda, it took 7 years to raise this money.
And while we can't say just how much money has been raised, yes, that will be announced later tonight. What we can tell you is the foundation surpassed its $200 million goal through its Unexpected Ways to Heal campaign. Now, right now, guests are arriving. Among those expected is PK Subban. Now, the former Habs player pledged to raise $10 million through his own foundation. The money he raised, along with other donors, will be going towards pediatric care research, as well as a pediatric center in northern Quebec, and many other projects. With more, here's the president of the Montreal Children's Hospital Foundation, René Vézina.
It's huge. It supports innovation. It supports clinical care. The Children's Hospital in Montreal covers 63% of the province's territory. So we see children not only in Montreal, and we see the sickest children. Philanthropy makes the difference. It's the difference between what the government can fund, taking care, receiving care, but finding cures is what philanthropy does, and it's so very important.
And we'll find out later tonight just how much money has been raised. I'll have those details tonight at 11:30. It's me.
Thanks very much, Sweda. And that's Sweda Rassi at the Montreal Children's Foundation Gala. And coming up, a triple murder has shaken a community.
It's heartbreaking. They were a good family. They really were good kids.
And a 17-year-old is facing first-degree murder charges. And a new possible case of hantavirus, but not from the cruise ship. There's been a triple murder in the small city of Brockville, Ontario. The bodies of a mother and her 2 daughters were found inside a home. A 17-year-old is facing murder charges. Caitlin Wilson reports.
It's heartbreaking. They were a good family. They really were good kids.
It's a loss many in this tight-knit community say is hard to process.
It's still unbelievable. Can't
I'm trying to get a hold of it. Just puts a bad feeling in your stomach.
Bouquets of flowers sit outside this apartment building in Brockville, where police say a 49-year-old woman and her two daughters, aged 15 and 17, were found dead. Police say officers were called to the building on Cartier Courts around 11:30 Thursday morning.
Based on the evidence at the scene, the deaths were deemed as suspicious in nature. It is believed at this time that a knife was involved in the incident. However, investigators are still processing the scene to determine the totality of what took place.
A 17-year-old boy is now charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and also charged with assaulting a police officer. Police say he was arrested a couple of hours later around 1:30 at a property on the outskirts of the city. Investigators say the accused was in a relationship with one of the victims, but have not released additional details about what may have led to their deaths.
It is an incident that's isolated. It's not a random attack. Okay, it involved intimate partner violence with these individuals.
Tarek Kerr says he lived across the hall from the family for more than a decade and watched the girls grow up.
They're always heartwarming. You always saw them out on the balcony when they were playing or when they were outside. I saw them out in the hallways, coming back from school, so it was always heartbreaking.
Throughout the day, more flowers continued to appear outside the building, a growing memorial from a community struggling to come to terms with what happened.
I don't know. It's hard to believe.
The 17-year-old accused appeared in court for a bail hearing Friday and remains in custody. Caitlin Wilson, CTV News, Brockville.
Public Health Canada says 3 more Canadians might have come into contact with the hantavirus. 2 of them are in Alberta, the other is in Ontario. Meanwhile, health officials in Spain are investigating a new suspected case of hantavirus. This one involves a woman who was not on the cruise ship at the center of the outbreak.
De la persona que falleció con hantavirus.
Secretary of State for Spain says the woman was a passenger on the same flight as a person who died of hantavirus from the cruise ship. The woman remains in isolation in hospital, but as a precaution. The cruise ship, meanwhile, is due to arrive at this port in Spain's Canary Island over the weekend. 3 hikers are dead after a volcano in Indonesia erupted.
I hope they're alive.
A video shows tourists trying to get off Mount Dukono. Plumes of ash could be seen rising 10 kilometers into the sky. The 3 victims were part of a group of 20 hikers. They were climbing the volcano despite safety warnings. There's been a major cyber attack that targeted post-secondary schools around the world, including several in Canada. 9,000 schools worldwide were targeted. The attack was against Canvas Cloud. That's a digital platform used to store course materials, manage grades, and submit assignments. It's not clear what data might have been accessed, but it is possible student names, emails, and student IDs were compromised. And the Pentagon has released a new collection of previously classified UFO files. The archive contains more than 160 documents covering hundreds of reported incidents from around the world. They were released on orders from Donald Trump. The Defense Department says more files will be released in the coming weeks. And coming up, a Canadian team makes history in the WNBA tonight.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
Well, we've had some back and forth, but conditions are looking pretty good for Mother's Day weekend. Let's take a look at where we are sitting, though, right now. Seeing a cool 8 degrees in Sherbrooke, a slightly warmer temperature of 12 right now for those of us in Montreal, but still not quite as warm as what we'd expect at this time of year with that normal daytime high of 18. That said, things could be much worse. If we look back to 1956, that's when we set our record low of minus 3.3 degrees. So luckily, we're looking at slightly warmer temperatures than that tonight. Our overnight low is forecasted at a temperature of 6. That's along with a few clouds in the skies. And then good news for tomorrow morning, we're looking at mainly sunny skies coming in. We have 6 degrees as our expected wake-up temperature. And then by afternoon, we could be at a perfectly seasonal daytime high. So that would bring us to a temperature of 18 degrees, again with those mainly sunny skies. Setting our futurecast into motion, we see those partly cloudy skies tonight, again clearing out as we head into tomorrow morning. That said, as we head into Sunday, we are looking at a possible chance of some showers coming in. So that would be a 40% chance of roughly 1 millimeter coming our way, clearing out pretty quickly again with winds expected to gust up to 40 kilometers an hour. For Sunday, Mother's Day, we're looking at a daytime high of 17, and then good news as we start next week. So looking from Monday all the way through to Wednesday, we're expecting to see varying degrees of that mix of sun and cloud. Also expecting to see daytime highs in the mid-teens. So temperatures of 14 degrees on both Monday and Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we could see a warmer day at 17. Now, look out for a possible chance of showers once again come Thursday. So keep that in mind. But good news, by Friday, we could be breaking into the 20s. And a Lotto reminder that tonight Lotto Max is offering a jackpot of 70 million plus 10 Max Millions plus 70 times 100,000. You can buy your ticket in store or online. Good luck.
In 2015, PK Subban promised to raise $10 million over 10 years for the Montreal Children's Hospital. Well, he's done that. He's fulfilled his commitment, and tonight he's being celebrated for that at this year's Children Foundation Gala. And PK Subban joins us now. Well, welcome back to Montreal, PK.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back again.
So, well, you're at the gala tonight, but I'm imagining you might be checking your phone every once in a while to see the score on the Montreal Canadiens game tonight.
Yeah, there's been no shortage of hockey on my schedule for the past couple of years, so especially of late. So I'm sure I'll check in like everybody else, but you know, tonight's a special moment for me. It's probably the greatest accomplishment of my life, so pretty focused on that right now.
You know, you started your NHL career here in Montreal, but in every city you've played in since, you've always made a point of helping the children in those cities and the children's hospitals there. Why is that so important to you?
Well, it's personal. I think it starts with my faith and what I was taught. You know, as a person, the service that you pay here on earth is godly acts. You know, I'm a man of faith. I was taught faith. I grew up in it, whether it was by my aunt reading me the Bible as a kid, whether it was with me being a part of hockey ministry since I was 15 years old. Morals and values are really important in the Subban household. And obviously with our hockey schedule, couldn't always be in church, you know, with hockey tournaments on the weekend. So in order to live a life of faith, you got to live through God, and God is in the act. So for me, it's all about godly acts, and the more things that you can give, the more people that you can pull into something like that, it makes the unimaginable manageable. And for me, to have this accomplishment, it's super emotional for me, but yeah, it's all about godly acts. You know, that's what I'm all about.
I think what a lot of Montrealers don't know is, I welcomed you back to Montreal, but I think what they don't know is you come back to Montreal, you know, 2, 3, 4 times every year because you want to spend time with the children. You don't publicize it. You say the cameras get in your way. So you spend quiet time just one-on-one with these kids. And from what I understand, your relationship with this hospital isn't over.
Well, you know, I got 2 great parents, but I'm going to talk about one of them. My dad, for you know, for a moment, taught me that when you commit to something, you do it. And for the children, that's what it's all about for me, was the commitment that I made to them. So, you know, when I think back at how that started, it started with my career, and that's why I thank the Montreal Canadiens for giving me that platform. But because of the morals and values that I was taught, when I couldn't go home at Christmas, Christmas Eve, you know, I went over with team relations to the Children's Hospital to give gifts away. I did that for a couple of years. That's how I started to build that chemistry with the kids there and with the hospital. And I can tell you, those kids gave me power and strength that I could never imagine. So I'm very grateful for that. And all I wanted to do was return that favor. But you know, those kids are the strongest. And, you know, when I think of my foundation, I don't really think about the 10 million, you know, or even the amount of families we've helped, which is hundreds of thousands. It's about all the faces that I remember, you know, of the kids that are still with us, that have moved on, and some of the kids that have passed on. And for me, that's what it's about when you invest your time, not just your money.
Well, you know, PK, thank you very much for everything that you have done and everything that you will continue to do for the City of Montreal and the children in the hospital here.
Thank you.
But as much as you say you are focused on what you've done in the celebration tonight, we still have to know, right? We need a prediction for the Canadiens-Buffalo series.
Well, I already made all my predictions at the start of playoffs. So I got the Habs winning the cup. And so nobody should be asking me if they're winning tonight or tomorrow. I got them winning the cup. So start the parade now. Let's get the rings ready. That's where my head's at.
Okay. Well, thank you for taking time to speak to us, and thank you again for everything you've done for Montreal.
God bless. Thank you. Thank you.
And coming up, turning to AI to treat an aggressive form of breast cancer.
Menswear provided by Ernest. Elevate your style with Ernest. Your Health, brought to you by Gration Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
AI is helping in the treatment of a certain form of breast cancer. It's new research out of Dalhousie University. Here's Emma Convey.
Dr. Paola Marignani has dedicated her research to a specific form of breast cancer.
Years ago, we discovered that in one of the more aggressive forms of breast cancer, HER2-positive breast cancer, that there was a specific type of protein that was not doing its job. And this protein is called LKB1. And we were trying to understand why in HER2-positive breast cancer this protein was missing.
So they mimicked this in mice.
And then we came up with different drug combinations to try and stop the tumors from forming. And to our surprise, it actually worked, and the tumors stopped growing.
In 2022, the team received $250,000 from the Breast Cancer Society of Canada to start testing on humans.
We've taken the tumor and we've separated out all the individual cells of a tumor. So each individual tumor cell is actually deep dive next generation sequencing for each cell.
In 3 years, they discovered what genes are involved in early detection and possibly why the cancer returns. Artificial intelligence has been key in advancing the research.
Rather than looking at 500,000 tumor cells, we can look at 2 to 3, 4, 5 million tumor cells at a time, because we're now using machine learning.
Digital researcher Giles Crouch says AI is helping speed up research.
Cancers all have patterns in our bodies, no matter where we get the cancer. So that's what it's doing. It's looking for those patterns and looking for the anomalies, because we've got lots of scans of healthy bodies and then we've got unhealthy bodies. And that's what it's doing. It's comparing.
Back at the lab, this team needs more funding and time to further their work.
The next stage would be to create these new animal models based on the one we've already done and test new compounds, small molecules.
While AI has helped to move them forward and their findings are promising, they're still years away from their end goal. Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Business News brought to you by Au Vieux de Louvre, where memories and meals come together.
Canada's unemployment rate rose to a 6-month high in April. Statistics Canada says the country lost about 18,000 jobs while more people entered the job market. That brought the unemployment rate up to 6.9%. Quebec's unemployment rate now stands at 6.2%. And Montreal's rate is at a 10-year high. It stands at 7.1%. Morella Fernandez has more.
Close to 48,000 full-time jobs were lost last month, offset by about 29,000 part-time jobs gained. There were also more people looking for work in April than there were in March. That's one reason the unemployment rate moved up to 6.9%. But the rate for younger Canadians, 15 to 24, is twice that, above 14%. Employment fell in Quebec but rose in Ontario. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.08. West Texas Intermediate up 61 cents to 95.42. Western Canadian Select is barely changed at 74.45, and the TSX gained 221 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morel Fernandez.
A Kitchener company is taking a new approach to potholes. It's decided to focus on prevention. Spencer Turcotte has details.
Cook like a steak and cut like butter, a saying heard frequently around Kitchener's heat design equipment.
We build infrared heaters for patching roads, and that's to maintain roads and to help construct roads so they last longer.
The system uses infrared heat to rework existing asphalt instead of simply covering it up, a process that sets them apart from others.
We can reheat asphalt when it's 10 to 20 years old, and we can recycle that in place so it can allow for better repairs.
That means crews can recycle material already on the road, creating a smoother, more durable surface. It's a process that takes more time than a quick patch, but the company says it's well worth it.
We might take a little bit longer to fix that, but we'll have a much more permanent repair.
The key is catching problems early. Small cracks can quickly grow into potholes. The goal is to repair them before that happens. And with many different tools that use the same technology depending on the size of the job, they've been successful.
This is an infrared heater that gets attached to the side of the paver. So we're all familiar with the cracks that go down the center line of the road. This machine fixes it in the construction phase.
The company's tech is built in Kitchener and is already being used in projects around the world.
We shipped equipment as far as Australia, South America, UK, and into the US as well.
A local innovation that's heating up potholes and cooling down frustration for drivers everywhere. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
The Toronto Tempo play their first game in their season of the WNBA tonight, and the team's flag is flying at Toronto City Hall.
A historic moment for our city and for sports in Canada. Toronto's own WNBA team, Canada's team, takes to the court tonight.
Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow raised the flag with Tempo President Teresa Resch. The Tempo face the Washington Mystics in Toronto tonight. The Tempo is the first Canadian franchise in the WNBA. Well, we are all getting those census forms in the mail. And Angela, we are required to fill them out.
It is the law, Mitsumi, but even if you forget, Statistics Canada will send out reminders, and there are thousands of people who will be going door to door across Canada to help people fill out that form. We'll be talking about what kind of questions you can expect to see on the census form this year and why it matters. And of course, the Habs play the Sabres at the KeyBank Centre in Buffalo tonight, where the Canadians will be looking to even the series. We'll have the score, the highlights, and the fans coming up at 11:30.
Thanks very much, Angela. And coming up, he is a legendary conservationist.
These forces allowed life on Earth to flourish.
Sir David Attenborough marks a personal milestone. Sir David Attenborough is breaking records and making history. Here's Danny New.
I now understand the most important place on Earth is not on land.
For decades now, when you've heard that voice, you've known you're probably about to learn a lot about nature.
These forces allowed life on Earth to flourish.
But today, we're talking in terms of centuries, as legendary British broadcaster Sir David Attenborough turns 100 years old.
I had rather thought that I would celebrate my 100th birthday quietly, but it seems that many of you have had other ideas.
On Thursday, the renowned naturalist, whose more than 70 years of presenting on TV is a Guinness World Record, released an audio message to his fans. He says he's been, quote, overwhelmed by all the messages he's received.
I simply can't reply to each of you all separately, but I would like to thank you all most sincerely for your kind messages.
Well, before he began his famous run narrating Planet Earth for the BBC in his late 70s...
There's one ape, however, that spends nearly all its time on the ground.
Attenborough was first introduced to many audiences outside of England when he hosted the groundbreaking docuseries Life on Earth in 1979.
It seems really very unfair that Man should have chosen the gorilla to symbolize all that is aggressive.
Now, almost 50 years later, many are taking this week to celebrate his legacy and impact. For example, the Journal of Natural History just announced it is naming a new kind of parasitic wasp after the broadcaster, who already has more than 50 species named after him. And artists in England even raked a 48,000 square foot portrait of Attenborough into the sands of the UK's western shores.
He's taught us all, you know, from being kids and stuff, the value of nature.
In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
And Anastasia, well, at least it's a good start to the weekend.
That's it, exactly. We can expect to see some more sunshine for at least one day. For tonight, we're looking at a low of 6 degrees. That's along with mainly cloudy skies for the evening. Also expecting to see a wake-up temperature at 6 tomorrow morning, too. But we have a high expected at 18 degrees, so that we should be hitting by about 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon for a perfectly seasonal day. And then we do start to see that chance of showers coming in. A 40% chance of roughly 1 millimeter on Sunday with a high of 17. Mitsumi.
And that's it for us. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Stay well. Good night.